Yeah, no, I heard you the seventh time and I ignored it.
It's just a strong core.
Very SpongeBob-ish.
But hold on a second. How did it come out? Like, how did they?
The boy's mother ended up finding it.
Fucking
finding
haters.
it? What do you mean? It Snapchat goes away, right? How they?
He probably saved it. You can screen record, take screenshots.
You got to know that that's gonna happen. Some people do some crazy shit.
Yeah, it says Dean's parent reportedly found the photos on his phone, which he saved from Snapchat.
Desgraciado, Dlia, ¿qué te pasa, brody? Hold on, let's. I want to see that one more time. Hold on.
Yeah, no, I heard you the seventh time and I ignored it.
It's just a strong core.
Very SpongeBob-ish.
But hold on a second. How did it come out? Like, how did they?
The boy's mother ended up finding it.
Finding it? What do you mean? It Snapchat goes away, right? How they?
He probably saved it. You can screen record, take screenshots.
You got to know that that's gonna happen. Some people do some crazy shit.
Yeah, it says Dean's parent reportedly found the photos on his phone, which he saved from Snapchat.
Let me tell you.
Also, Mom, quit being a cock block.
There's nothing to me more satisfying than when a sex offender gets busted doing nasty shit, dude. I love that more than anything in the world, dude. It's so funny. So some of you guys, most everybody should know right now that Chris D'Elia is being accused by a bunch of underage girls for sending them pictures of his junk and doing all kinds of nasty shit. I mean, look, dude. I mean, I don't know. I'll get into that in a minute. I apologize. I have not been around, guys. I had a real big problem with my computer, and by the grace of God, I was able to get a new one. Incredible. Very, very crazy how things work out. Things happen, man. I gotta say that I guess, I mean, I don't know. I don't like to be all corny about stuff like that, but the universe definitely, or God or whatever, provides for you when you really try to, when you really make a conscious effort to be a grateful person. And I got what's up, Caleb? I'm going to say hi to everybody in just a second. But to answer your question, Caleb, I got a Toshiba satellite. It was a gift, and it's brand new. I mean, like, you can tell it's not like somebody cleaned it up. It's like brand new, and it seems to work fantastic. For something, I don't know what happened to my other computer. I just don't know. It just started to get slower and slower and slower, and I wasn't downloading anything. So it just didn't make any sense to me what was happening to it. I thought it was my Wi-Fi at first, and then I started plugging directly into the router, and internet's fine. So I don't know, but it's a decent laptop. It's definitely bigger. I think it's like a 17.3 inch. So it's definitely bigger than my last one, which is nice. It's not, I mean, it's more than what I need. It's really decent. I'm not a computer guy. Like, this is really the only thing I use computer for, and to stream movies that are not, if I don't have I probably shouldn't say that, but I do. I know of websites where I could stream movies that are, that I would normally have to pay for. But that's neither here nor there. So let's see who's here, guys. Angelina ATF, Lauren Elizabeth, how are you? From Connecticut, thank you for joining the chat. Angel Eyes, Rosemarie, The Undercover Mother, 2020. All right. Marissa Anderson, hello. Carrie Mae Rennie. So yeah, I feel like I got some new. These are new handles that I'm not used to, and I realize it's a late night. Don't expect a whole lot of people to jump on here, but that's okay. I just I guess I gotta get back into the swing of things. You know, I've been off for a little while, a couple weeks, and so you know, I'm just kind of doing this late tonight just to hang out with just a few of you and kind of shoot the shit and have a good time. I missed you too, Lauren Elizabeth. Texas Girl One, how we doing? Diana Howell, hello. Summer H. So yeah, man. So Chris D'Elia. First of all, let me say this. I've never been a Chris D'Elia fan. I'm very picky when it comes to my stand-up comedians, and when I see somebody who seems like they're like a rock star, right? If I watch a band or a musician and I get the vibe that they're just doing it to get laid, I'm not into it, you know? And you can tell through the music, you know, and you can tell through the comedy if it's a stand-up comedian. Chris D'Elia is one of those to me. He's always been that way, which is really ironic because it's like I could smell this kind of shit on him. I just wouldn't accuse somebody of something like that when you have no idea. Of course not. I'm not trying to say that I called that he was a pederast, but I'm gonna say that you know, I could smell that he was, you know, a little bit on the overly thirsty type. But it just, like I said, it's just kind of a vibe he gave me, you know, by watching his comedy. I got that same vibe from Dane Cook, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? If it works and you're doing what makes you happy and there's no victims involved, great. You know, if you're a stand-up comedian and you're just doing it to get laid, you know, as long as everybody's of age, everybody's a consenting adult, right on. Cool. You're happy. If it's working out for you, it's working out for you. I'm not going to be a fan of what you're doing necessarily because I could tell that your heart's not in it for that, to make me laugh. Your heart's in it to make girls giggle, you know, and that's okay. That's okay. It's just not for me. And I felt that way about Chris D'Elia. I felt that way with Dane Cook too. But I felt that way about Chris D'Elia, and I've never been a fan of his comedy. But you know, I think one girl was like 14, Caleb. I mean, dude, that shit is not okay at all. All right, you clean, girl. Undercover mother. Katie Cat, how we doing? Yeah, man, it's my man is not, you know, he's not the genuine thing. Like you can tell when I remember he was on a roast. I can't remember whose roast it was. I want to say it was like Hasselhoff's or somebody like that, right? And he was on a roast, and everybody gave this guy shit. And you can tell he's a big cokehead too. Like I'm from Miami. I grew up in Miami. I could spot a cokehead like that. That dude, Chris D'Elia, is definitely a slave to the thin white line. Most definitely. I could just, you know, I could just tell. At least it was at one point in his life. I just, one of those things I could just fucking tell. But yeah, it is really bad, Caleb. That shit's just not okay. I don't have any patience for that kind of shit, you know? I don't have any type of patience for that kind of shit. I'm real, you know, I first of all, and I've talked about this before on this channel. First of all, I think our sexuality is an amazing thing. It's a gift, you know? Damn, that coffee's good. But I definitely believe our sexuality to be a gift. It's a beautiful thing. It's a blessing, if you will. And I think it's absurd to not enjoy it. I think it's absurd to not express it fully. Again, as long as everyone involved are consenting adults. And that means basically anything that you're into is okay, as long as you are human consenting adults. Everyone is involved. So, and I'm all for that. I'm a very, very sexual person myself. I take pride in that, and that's great. But the thing is, you know, you can't be doing it with people whose minds are not developed yet. And that's why it's considered rape. And for an adult, especially a stand-up comedian too, a professional stand-up comedian, someone who makes a living from making humorous observations. Their living is to make observations and then make light of them. But in order to make light of an observation, you have to understand it. And that's why it's especially unethical for this man to use his fame to take advantage of young girls. As a matter of fact, it's just pretty pathetic when you think about it. I mean, because you're an adult, man, you know, and there's a lot of pretty women out there, a lot of pretty women willing to do all kinds of things just because, you know, I mean, a lot of women out there are just, they're star fuckers, you know. They like the idea of sleeping with somebody who's famous. He's a good looking guy. And I'm sure that this took place, but for some reason, this guy got so in his head that for some reason he justified in his mind that it was okay to target young girls who are underage. It's a big no-no. It's a big no-no. And I hope he gets charged. And again, you know, there's innocent until proven guilty, but let's face it, man, this stuff is all like in emails and all. Yeah. Like apparently what's going on, I don't know the perfect details exactly, but a few girls have come forward who they don't know each other at all. They're from different parts of the country. And they all have emails and texts and Snapchats coming from the same place. What's up, Mignon? Coming from the same place. So, you know, it's him, man. And the thing is, this guy, he is one lucky bastard when you think about it. Now, his career's over, you know, and anybody who knows the guy's going to look at him and be like, dude, really? Right? So he's done. He's cooked. But what's really funny to me is he'd be getting a lot worse. Think about the times that we're in right now. This guy being a kitty diddler isn't even near what people are talking about right now as far as the majority of people. Like, I mean, everybody's talking about COVID. Everybody's talking about, left versus right, Trump, the election coming up. Everybody's talking about racism. Everybody's talking about Black Lives Matter. It's these times are completely and totally crazy, you know, and they're so crazy that something like Dlia messing around with teenage girls is just not that big a deal. And you know, it's crazy. I mean, Kevin Spacey is destroyed. His life is completely destroyed because of an incident that took place like 20 something years ago. You know, now I'm not saying it's okay what he did, but you know what I'm saying? Is it fair that something 20 years ago, like what did the last 20 years, the last 20 years of what this man was doing doesn't count for anything at all? You know, and all he did was come on to somebody. He didn't actually, you know, I'm not trying to, you know, I get people are saying, oh man, but that's still what he did is not okay. It's true. What he did was not okay. Absolutely not. But he's paying the price of somebody who actually did more. Is that fair to say? Is that fair to say? You know, considering how talented of an actor Kevin Spacey is, what's on his resume, we're looking at, you know, one incident that took place like 20 something years ago. And then the kid himself, who's no longer a kid now, but he grew up. He's a gay man, you know? So the way Kevin Spacey describes it, he was drinking and he just came on to this kid and the kid said no. And he kind of touched him inappropriately, I think, possibly to some degree, but he did not, they did not actually engage in any type of, you know, actual sexual acts. So, you know, was what he did okay? Absolutely not. But the fact of the matter is he's, nobody else has come forward. So it seems like it was an isolated drunken incident. The Chris D'Elia situation is very, very different because it's multiple victims from across the country who don't even know each other. And they all have emails and texts from the same source. And so this guy is done. Yeah, Caleb, I like Spacey as an actor too. It's like, I was just in John Crimes's chat, right? And he was talking about, you know, he feels, and I agree with him, you know, when it comes to certain things, people give him a chance to learn from the mistakes and let him move on. I don't think that's the case here with Chris D'Elia. That's not what I'm trying to say. And I don't think John Crimes is saying that either. But what I'm saying is, you know, after 20 something years, you know, it's like Mel Gibson. What I said, the reason why I brought up the John Crimes chat, because what I said in his chat was that, you know, I'm not going to go drinking with Mel Gibson. You know what I mean? But if he makes a movie, I'm going to go see it because he's an incredible filmmaker. Does that make sense? Is that wrong for me to feel that way? You know, I mean, you know, Mel Gibson got drunk and he said some awful, awful shit. There's this long, I mean, if you've ever listened to the video of him talking to his wife, I mean, it's awful. No man should be speaking to a woman like that. Nobody should speak to anybody the way that he was speaking to her. You know, man or woman, it doesn't matter. Nobody should be should be speaking to anyone that way. But I mean, it was really, really ugly what he was saying. It was really, really ugly. And the things that he said when he was drunk, like very, very anti-Semitic things. But does that? I don't know. I mean, I guess everybody has a right to do whatever they want. You know what I mean? But me personally, I don't think it's fair. You know, I don't think it's fair that the Cosby Show isn't viewed the same way as it always was, because Bill Cosby did ugly shit. You know what I was watching? I was watching Creed 2, right? I was watching Creed 2 and Felicia Rashad, right? She's also Claire Huxtable, the mother on the Cosby Show, but she plays the woman who raises Adonis Creed, Apollo Creed's wife. And she raises this boy. But I'm watching this movie and I'm thinking, God, man, she is probably the best television mom of all time. And I know that's a bold statement. But man, when I watched this woman acting in Creed 2, I thought back, you know, because the Cosby Show is one of my all-time favorite shows. So, you know, looking back and watching her and thinking about certain episodes, the way she handled certain scenes, she was convincing and a beautiful woman too. She just exuded strength. So just a hardcore television mom, but a very, very loving one, career driven, an incredible example for an American woman, an incredible example. Mother of 5 kids, partner in her own law firm, and just kicking ass, you know, just kicking ass. So that's a little off subject, but the thing is why do I have to stop liking something because somebody involved in it fucked up? See, like take the Cosby Show, for instance, right? There's Bill Cosby, who's a piece of shit, obviously. This guy, you can't just go and drug people and have sex with them, man. That's not how life works, dude. So this guy goes and he does that creep ass shit, and then I got to look back on the Cosby Show and be like, man, none of that matters. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, the art becomes its own life, I think. I think once the art is put out to the world, it becomes its own life. It takes on its own existence, its own life. It no longer belongs to the artist. It belongs to those of us who were exposed to it. I believe, you know, I mean, how many times do you hear a song that you relate to, you know, and you really feel it connects with you? It's ours. Once it's put out there, it's out there for us. It's the beauty of the world. And now it's become one of the things in the beauty of the world where we get to relish in it. It's a blessing. Because I'll tell you, I mean, I used to play guitar when I was in a band. It was amazing to me because I never would sit there and I never had a tune in my head and then was like, okay, let me manifest that on my guitar. No, I would just sit there and play my guitar while I was watching TV, you know, and then I would have a riff, and then I'd be like, ooh, that riff is cool. And then I'd come up with a riff that sounds good with it. And then I'd take it to the guys at band practice and be like, hey, check this out. And that's what would happen. So it's almost as if it just chooses you, you know, like real art. I think it's like, I remember reading something where Michelangelo was quoted in saying something along the lines of, you know, like it was the statue that he did, this very beautiful sculpture of Mary holding Jesus as he's dying. Very, very beautiful, detailed sculpture. Made of like marble or some sort of stone, right? And it's gorgeous. And somebody asked him, like, how did you make that? I mean, where does that come from that you can make something so detailed? And he's like, it's already there. All I'm doing is just chipping away the pieces that are blocking me from actually seeing it. I know it's there, so I'm just getting everything out of the way so I can actually see it. You know, so it can be argued, man, that art is here for us, and it's already its own thing. It's already its own life. So the artist no longer has responsibility for it anymore, I don't think. I don't believe that. So fuck that. I'm gonna keep watching the Cosby Show, you know. I'm gonna still enjoy the Cosby Show. I love the Cosby Show. I'm still gonna enjoy Fat Albert. Fat Albert has the best theme song of all time. Fat Albert is the best theme song, period. But so what really makes me sick about these people, these sex offenders, they don't realize what kind of trauma that does to somebody, or they do, and they just don't care. And that's what really, really makes me sick. You know, you mess with a girl before her mind is fully developed, or a boy, whatever, before their mind is fully developed, and you're causing damage. They don't know what to make of what's happening. And it's just wrong for a grown-up to take advantage in that sense. I wanted to do something. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about it tonight, but there's one thing that always bothered me is, and I keep hearing stories about it. I keep hearing it from different people, things that happen. And one thing is how their sexuality is affected when they're in an abusive relationship, like affected for good. They're not even rape victims, but they are victims of abuse, and they are victims of you know, I mean, whether it's domestic violence, whatever type of abusive relationship. But the thing is there's something that really, there's something really, really, really messed up in that. When a man is with a woman for so long, let's say 10 years. Can you imagine 10 years of a man telling you that you're ugly, and that I don't like the way you do this, and I can't stand the way you do that, and if you do this, you're a whore. If you do that, you know, nobody's ever going to look at you and respect you. You beat these kind of things into someone's head for 10 years. It's going to affect. All right. How do I put this? Okay. So a big part of sexuality is confidence. A big part of sexuality is being aware of yourself, knowing what you like, and knowing how to express it and share that with someone else. That's why it's always better to engage in sexual encounter. You could do whatever you want. Some people enjoy it. You know, some people like strange all the time. It happens. But for me personally, it's better when I know someone a little bit, because I get to connect with them on a mental level. And the reason why I'm capable of genuinely connecting with that person is because I know myself, and I know what I like, and I'm eager to share that with someone else who's earned my trust. And that goes for anybody, I believe, even if they're not sure that that's what it is. But I think that goes for anybody who's engaging in sexuality and in sex with anyone else and sharing that. It is the physical act of sharing. Knowing that bringing you physical pleasure is going to bring me physical pleasure is a very, very beautiful exchange. And I think it's divine. Even I believe it to be a gift. So it's not to be taken for granted, but it's definitely not to be used to take advantage of somebody for. And this really affects how people feel about themselves. Having someone who treats you in a very, very abusive manner is going to affect how you look at yourself. Whether you're a man or a woman, women do this to men all the time too. But it's really, really important that if you've ever been in a relationship, my advice to you, if you've ever been in a relationship like this and it's affecting how you're capable of digging deep and finding that part of yourself to share with someone else, if you're doing that, and you're struggling with that, that person who inflicted this on you is winning. They're getting exactly what they set out for. Even if you've had the strength to get up, pack your bags, and get out of that situation and leave that person in the dust, right? If you've been able to do that, kudos. That takes a lot of strength in of itself. That's huge. And definitely much respect to those who actually had the bravery, the courage to just have a standard for themselves and say, I deserve to be treated better than this, and get up and leave. And a special shout out to people who have helped someone in that situation and said, you don't need to stay in that situation anymore. You can come crash on my couch, or I got a spare bedroom, but you got to get out of there right now. So kudos to those types of people too, man, because a lot of times a big part of being in an abusive relationship is that person creating a situation where they don't have any friends. They're not going to have anybody to go to. They cut them off from their family. And it's really, really crazy. It's systematic what an abusive person in a relationship does. It's absolutely systematic. And it takes a lot of bravery to get out of that. But the thing is, though, it's important that you don't think that I'm taking that particular step forward lightly. I'm not, but it is only half of the move. The rest of it is getting yourself together, getting yourself back, taking yourself back. And that's really, really, really difficult. That takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of, and I'm telling you, I've been there myself, and, applying these glare things to my life, man, they really help. And so it becomes a lot easier to do that. So just give it a shot. If you happen to be a woman who's struggling with this right now, do that. Try to apply it. Just see what happens. You can email me and tell me what how it's going. But having gratitude for yourself, thinking logically, and a lot of thinking logically is going to be asking yourself, like, coming to terms that the person that made you believe certain things about yourself, they're just not true. And coming from that person, it's not going to hold any merit. It should not hold any merit to you. Their opinions should not matter at all anymore. Letting them go means letting them go. Putting them behind you means putting them behind you. Because if, like I said, if what they have done to you is still affecting you, they're still winning. So the more work you put towards not putting any energy towards anything that this person was trying to inflict on you on a long-term basis, on a permanent basis, that's up to you if it's going to be permanent. I mean, that's just the truth. The time, and this is going to sound a little harsh, but I mean it, and I mean it in the best sense. I really do. But the time to behave like a victim is over, because you're not one anymore. You're done. You took the big step and you got out of there. You got out of there. So the being the victim part, that's over with, because now you're affected only as much as you allow yourself to be affected by these actions, by these words that have brought you down, that have changed the way you think about yourself. And I don't care what you look like. I don't care where you're from. I don't care any of that. Chances are you're a beautiful, gorgeous, amazing woman. And you had the audacity, and I say that in a positive manner, You had the audacity to dig deep and get up and get out of that situation. And that's what I say when I say women are badasses. That's not an easy thing to do. It's a simple thing to do, but it's not easy, because you're when you're in an abusive relationship, it's so mental. It's so mental. It gets to a point to where you believe things about yourself, because you've convinced yourself that this person, their opinion is the only thing that matters, because you gave them your heart, and they took your heart and they laughed at it. And they take your heart and they play with it and do crazy, crazy things with it by messing with your head, convincing you you're something you're not, or you're not something that you are. But when it comes time for you to take that next step forward and meet somebody that meets your new standards, for you to sit there, get yourself together, and really just start taking control, putting duck after duck in a row, and start taking control of your life. And God forbid you got kids in a situation like that, and you're kicking ass and making sure your kids are good. That is hardcore accomplishment. And then when you're ready to actually share this new life, this new self that you found within yourself with someone else, but you're not able to enjoy the gift of sex between the two of you, that person's winning. That person still has possession over you. Think about that. That person still has possession over you when you are affected, when your sex life is affected between you and your new partner that you work so hard to get to a point to be with. And that's a hard road, man. That's a hard road. I'm not trying to sit here and say, hey, it's easy. But I really believe that if you put this into perspective, if you put this perspective of mine into your perspective, this process of taking yourself back is going to be a lot easier. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be an easier thing to visualize for yourself. I truly, honestly believe that. So, yeah. Well, that's that girl. Hey, it's good to see you too. Hey, Joan Brown, Rosemary, what's up? Rape is that's going to be another subject. I don't know. That's something that just completely fires me up. And that we started talking about this, but yeah, hey, Dee Duggan. I think it's awful what Chris D'Elia did, but I'm laughing at the fact that he was exposed and he's caught. And I hope, I love the idea of people like this going to prison, dude. I love the idea of people like this going to prison. I love the idea of seeing them just get pushed around, I mean, because technically you were pushing somebody else around. You know what I'm saying? I mean, dude, I don't have patience for people who hurt kids, dude. I don't have patience for that shit. I don't know what it is. It just makes me mad. If a man or woman tries to control your friends from the get-go, that's a red flag. There's loads of danger. I'm glad you're talking about these issues. Thank you. I appreciate you listening. I know it's late as hell too. And man, this computer's so much better. I'm sitting here. There's no drag on this at all. It's nice and quick. I was talking of Chris D'Elia. So Hope Addis, welcome. It's good to see you again. Yeah, I was speaking of Chris D'Elia. Chris D'Elia is a stand-up comedian, and he's a stand-up comedian who just got busted, having online sexual relationships with young girls, underage girls. And, I mean, it's crazy, because nowadays it doesn't even matter. Like nowadays, every kid, from like 7 and up has a fucking cell phone, dude. And, these cell phones, you can watch porn on them. It's crazy. Like any kind of porn. It's insane. And so, and anybody can talk to them. Anybody can get a hold of them. The thing is, parents can have settings, but dude, my son in middle school was jailbreaking people's iPhones. He didn't even have a phone, and he knew how to jailbreak them, and he was doing it for money. He was hustling in middle school, right? And I mean, and I couldn't stop him from doing it, but my point is that, you could block your kids, phones and put all these settings on them all you want, but there's always going to be some kid in middle school like my kid who's able to crack it for them so they can watch and do whatever they want. So it's messed up, man. It's really messed up. What's up, Lufa? The world is crazy right now. The world is crazy. But I mean, all you can do is just like do the best you can. Try to adapt to it. But I'm really glad, dude. I'm really glad that this guy got caught. I love when people get caught doing nasty, dirty shit. And the thing is, right now too, like they're gonna throw the book at this guy. They're gonna make an example of him. Watch, I guarantee you, they're gonna make an example of him. Because right now, think about it. How many times do you hear a story about some rich white guy who gets caught raping somebody? And there's witnesses, there's all kinds of shit. And then they end up getting like 6 months because they're white and they're privileged. Like with everything that's going on right now, there's no fucking way they're not going to make an example of this guy and throw the book at him. Because people will throw a fit. People will throw a fit. Yeah, man. Follow me on Instagram. I don't have a lot of posts. I have like 10 followers on Instagram. I'm not very active on it. But follow me on Instagram if you want. And I'll try to be more. I like to make memes and drop them. Sometimes I share memes, but I like to make them too. And I try to keep them channel related more or less. Hey, Summer H. Yeah, man. I love when people, I love when sex offenders get caught, dude. I'm a big fan of that shit. That girl, my eyes are always blue. Well, sometimes they're kind of green. I don't know. They change colors. They're weird. Oh, the Glare. I think it's the Glare official. That girl's been dropping the link to the Instagram in the chat. So, and Caleb, thank you for that. Yeah, if you guys want to support the stream, you could always hit the PayPal. I won't be mad at you for that. And Charlie Hunt, I was referring to Chris D'Elia. Oh man, this dude is, it's just so funny. It was so funny. I'm gonna play that again because I'm a big fan of when they like add Curb Your Enthusiasm music. That always makes me laugh so much when I see them do that. And they did that with Dlia. Like, there's this moment here where Dlia realizes that that people can, you know, because everybody, like cheaters and sex offenders, love to use Snapchat because supposedly Snapchat, I guess they disappear from there. I use Snapchat, but very, very little, not like the kids do. Like, kids don't even ask each other for their numbers anymore. They go, "What's your Snap?" Right? I'm such an old fogey, dude. But yeah, I'm gonna find that that video and I'm gonna play it again. It's so funny. Where is that? Curb. So yeah, I keep catching these randomly on my feed on YouTube, where they take a situation, somebody catches something on video, and then they add the Curb Your Enthusiasm music at the end. And I'm a big fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm, so it makes it that much funnier to me. Hold on, here we go. I'm gonna play this again, guys. Oh, I love how fast this computer is. It's fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, I heard you the 7th time and I've ignored it.
It's just a strong chord.
Very
Okay,
SpongeBob-ish.
But hold on a second. How did it come out? Like, how did they
The
Parents.
boy's mother ended up finding it.
Fucking
finding
haters.
it? What do you mean? It
Haters.
Snapchat goes away, right? How they?
He probably saved it. You can screen record, take screenshots.
You got to know that that's gonna happen. Some people do some crazy shit.
Yeah, it says teen's parent reportedly found the photos up on his phone, which he saved from Snapchat. Also, mom, quit being a cockblock.
This dude's face, homie. Like, I cannot with this dude. I gotta watch that one more time.
Yeah, no, I heard you the 7th time and I've ignored it.
It's just a strong chord.
Very
Okay, man.
Look at his
SpongeBob-ish.
face.
But hold on a second. How did it come out? Like, how did they?
The
Parents.
boy's mother ended up finding it.
Fucking
Finding it?
haters.
What do you mean?
Haters.
Snapchat goes away, right? How they?
He probably saved it. You can screen record, take screenshots.
Wow.
You got to know that that's gonna happen. Some people do some crazy shit.
Yeah, it says teen's parent reportedly found the photos up on his phone, which he saved from Snapchat. Also, mom, quit being a cockblock.
Oh my god, that is priceless, dude. That's so okay. There's another Curb. Let's watch this next one. Let's see what happens with this next one. Come on, play, bro.
Steven, nice to meet you. Okay. So,
Oh, I love this guy.
This is just a series we do where let people know my point of view. There are two genders. Go ahead and change my mind. It's the opposite of cable news. I'm not going to edit anything out of context. You said you disagreed. I'm open to new ideas.
I'm wondering the phrasing of the question. Are you arguing that there's not more than like men and women? Are you arguing there's not a difference between sex and gender, or?
Yeah, I think there are two genders, male and female.
Okay, so you're saying that male and female is a gender, not a sex.
Yes.
That's where I would have to disagree.
Okay. So.
Male and female is something that would be like, but for example, you probably have a penis and a sexual organ as would I.
Why would you assume that? But you assumed it, though.
Listen,
I'm not trying to do any gotcha. It's interesting to me that you assumed that I have a penis. Why?
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man. Fantastic. I really, really enjoy seeing people who don't know what the hell they're talking about realize that they don't know what the hell they're talking about when they're talking. I'm a big fan of that. Like, I love when that happens. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry about the echo. You know what the echo was, Marissa? It was that I had my mic on. I was sharing the audio and I had my mic on. Yeah, that's, you know, sometimes when I'm sharing videos, I'm talking over them and then it gives an echo. I apologize for that. But I get, yeah, that I love to see that, man. I do miss, you know, I miss Misery's lives, man, because, you know, who doesn't love to watch sexual predators like get busted? You know what I'm saying? Like, who doesn't love to see that shit? I mean, it's just plain fun. It just is. It's just plain fun. Like, why? It doesn't make any sense. Why? Well, like, leave little kids alone, dude. The fuck is wrong with you? The fuck is wrong with you? Seriously. Like, I don't even understand that, dude. Like, I'm such a sexual guy that, like, the idea of being with a woman who I have to walk through everything, you know, I mean, a kid's no doubt going to be the same way, I guess, I would assume, right? So I'm always real disappointed when I end up in bed with somebody who's like really vanilla and really just, you know, like it acts like they're doing me a favor by sleeping with me. Like, you can have me. Like, no. You need to want me as bad as I want you. That's how this works. Or else it's not going to be fun. I don't want you having doubts about it. The fuck? How's that fun? You know? So I would assume that a kid's it's going to be pretty much the same way. Like, you got to sit there. That's predatory shit, dude. That is gross, bro. That is gross, dude. ¿Qué carajo te pasa a ti? That is disgusting. Disgusting. I don't understand, like, sitting there and, you know, I mean, I get it. When you're in middle school and you're making out with a girl who's also in middle school and you just, you know, you're making out and you keep reaching up her shirt and grabbing her boob and then she says no and then you keep doing it. She moves your hand away. You keep going. She moves your hand away. You keep going. That's kid shit. That makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But when you're a grown up doing that even to another grown up, that's fucking weird. Like, no, I'm not going through this. I'm going home. I'll see you later. You know, man, you better have some enthusiasm. You come at me. You better come at me correct. Not, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? No, I don't. That's gross, dude. It makes no sense to me why somebody would even get off on having that type of predatory vibe, you know, towards someone else. I mean, how are you going to drug somebody and knock them out and then mess with them? I mean, ew. Dude, that is like a half a step up from necrophilia to me. I mean, how is that even? That doesn't make sense to me. Isn't it easier to be like, hey, turn around and put your butt up in the air? You know, rather than like, because they're asleep. I don't understand. It's not even practical. It's not even practical to mess with somebody while they're asleep. I don't understand it. What's up, Adelina? Didi, don't say that gross ass shit in my chat, dude. That's gross. Don't even joke about that. That's nasty. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. I mean, who doesn't want to feel wanted? That's my whole thing, is who doesn't want to feel beautiful and wanted and attracted? You know, like, I mean, that's such a nice feeling. If I'm with somebody and they're telling me, you know, how good I feel and how nice I look, and I love doing that for somebody else. I love making someone feel beautiful. I don't understand why you want to get off on making someone feel ugly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ladies, if anybody made you feel like that, man, and you managed to get away from them, at this point, it's up to you. You got to take that side of yourself back. And it's okay. It's okay to be a freak too. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not. It's okay to be a freak. It's okay to be as filthy as you want to be, as long as it involves consenting adults. Anybody who judges you for that, they're not having any fun themselves, so fuck them. You know, to hell with them. But yeah, man, it's absolutely okay. It's absolutely okay to take that side of yourself back and celebrate it. It's absolutely okay to do that. Don't let anybody ever tell you that it's not. So, and if anybody's a churchgoer and they're like, no, God says not to. No, he doesn't. God wouldn't have given you that gift. You know, we're one of two species, us and dolphins, that feel physical pleasure from sex. You're going to tell me that that's an accident? No. It's irresponsible to not celebrate it and enjoy it. Whether it's with your one partner or if you're single and you want to have fun. It is yours to do with it what you like, as long as you're not fucking it up for anybody else. Guys, I love you a lot. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me so late tonight. We are definitely going to do this again very, very soon, my friends. I love you very much. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll do this again.